Whilst the academic world continues to decry with unscrupulous adamance that the Step Pyramid of Djoser, the oldest pyramid ever constructed, regardless of the recent exposé by a team of courageous engineers who have revealed that this supposed tomb, in fact, once a massive ancient hydraulic mechanism, possibly once feeding the gigantic ancient machine which is currently being revealed, sunk deep into the earth far below the Giza Plateau. I have begun to wonder, could there be evidence hiding somewhere that could prove beyond doubt the actual age of these massive and clearly far more prehistoric structures? Could one possibly find evidence, perhaps quietly published papers, which could prove that these pyramids are, in reality, from a time before history began? Published within Indonesia last October and surrounding the site of Gunung Padang, the team involved in the project has revealed in an academic paper the possible true age for these places, and indeed this lost civilization, a discovery which has been passionately contested ever since. Led by Danny Hilman Natawijaya of the Indonesian Institute of Sciences, they have revealed in a paper published in the Journal of Archaeological Prospection that upon digging down to the actual remaining structure, now laying buried beneath many meters of suspiciously familiar sediment, and once constructed from precision-cut blocks of andesite lava, that they have produced dating samples, which according to the mainstream historical chronology would clearly mean that this ancient pyramid could not have been built by humans, with dates suggesting that the pyramid itself, and perhaps what will soon be found hidden deep beneath, in fact built over 25,000 years ago. And although, rather predictably, academics from varying fields have all rushed to rubbish the claims, the many samples and their accompanying results are there for all to see. For according to mainstream science and archaeology, humans could not have built the pyramid complex, having only discovered modern agriculture 11,000 years ago. Yet the team involved in the project now convinced the structure once built around 26,000 years ago, and thus far before even that of Neolithic man. The radar and Doppler scans, which will inevitably and eventually be undertaken beneath the site, and also beneath that of the equally contested Bosnian Pyramid Complex, or even beneath the incredibly ancient megalithic site of Gornaya Shoraya, to name but a few, will finally reveal the true grandeur, age, and capabilities of this now lost civilization, one who were perhaps even once in contact with other star systems. Perhaps this even the actual true reason behind them once choosing this perplexing pyramidal shape in the first place. For they all, in fact, house similar mechanisms as that of the Step Pyramid of Djoser. For as mentioned, these mysterious, unexplained buildings are not just found as supposed tombs within Egypt, but are dotted all over the world. With this giant hydraulic machine, the anomaly beneath Khafra, the recent discovery of the seismic generator beneath the Ural Mountains, and one now also possibly discovered beneath the Rocky Mountains, which it would appear, all share similar characteristics and indeed past purpose, may eventually be established to, in fact, share the same age as that of Gunung Padang. It is compelling evidence to suggest that instead of the work of ancient Egyptians some 4,000 years ago, with the use of nothing more than copper chisels, that Gunung Padang, along with the Step Pyramid of Djoser, but one working part in a gigantic and clearly far more ancient, yet also highly advanced machine, that was once possibly generating unimaginable amounts of energy. With my favorite hypothesis thus far, surrounding the manipulation of 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and the mysterious 5th, known only as the ether. Outlawed from study and banished to the corridors of pseudoscience, yet regardless, many have long believed this mysterious element to have almost magical characteristics, with the ability to open portals either to the stars or parallel dimensions. What this 5th element actually does, however, one is yet to be convinced. But this inclusion of the four natural elements now being suggested beneath Giza, with them also very heavily mentioned throughout ancient mysticism, secret teachings and religions all over the planet, means such theories are beginning to hold ever more water. Yet, for now, I digress. I believe the current narrative as to the true age and capabilities of the constructors of these sites is not only off by many thousands of years, but the civilization responsible, what they knew, and how they did these things, has either been long covered up or was simply lost during a cataclysm, one which set our species back to a Neolithic state, one where we lost our machines but still possessed remnants of our stone-moving capabilities, allowing us to build primitive dwellings such as dolmens, yet with 100-plus-ton stones, and complex sophisticated calendars with our surviving knowledge, such as henges, to allow us to track celestial paths, simply, I believe, to reorientate ourselves upon a new and upside-down world. For I feel the real purpose for this dismissal of our true history, not one built from ignorance or lack of awareness in regard to the evidence I regularly share with you all, but rather an occult of this knowledge that we presume has been lost for eons, yet perhaps this concerted effort to cover up our past, to throw out such data, to steal certain artifacts, perhaps even to hide an entire ancient species of giants, the true purpose for this creation of an acceptable chronology and a funded academic world built entirely around this narrow slice of Earth's history, which is apparently the entirety of human civilization. Yet, I also feel, however, that this occulting of knowledge, not a permanent fixture, but us simply relearning how to run. I will keep you all posted on any further developments surrounding, or indeed from beneath, Gunung Padang, and of course from within the many other enigmatic and as yet unexplained sites I so regularly share with you all here upon our channel. For it is a journey of rediscovery, which I find highly compelling. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to support my controversial research here upon YouTube. Thank you.
And this is the 3D model that we are working on. Here I show you the last.
Whilst the world is busy arguing over the validity of the recent claims regarding just what it is that has been discovered beneath the Great Pyramid of Khafre, and as mentioned in our previous video, now also quietly exposed beneath that of Cheops and indeed Menkaure too, I thought I would expound upon it myself. For although the world is busy arguing over the past purpose for this possible gigantic ancient machine, and combing through the research already released by the team to the public, there are several areas of this current theory which have seemingly dovetailed together over the past several months, and all quite by accident. Not only adding validity to the claims already being made, but corroborating many strange, and up to this point, unconnected ancient anomalies I have previously shared with you here over the past decade. One of the most intriguing aspects of this new research are the theories which are beginning to form surrounding some kind of ancient energy generation, in part due to the curious shape of these massive helical coils, which the Doppler scans have now indicated sink some 2 kilometers into the Earth, but also their unusual makeup, with Filippo Boindi and Corrado Malanga, co-directors of the research and the people responsible for making the initial discovery public, now stating that they believe them to have once been constructed of a piezoelectric material, with this gigantic contraption once utilized in the harvesting of energy straight from the Earth itself, perhaps via kinetic or seismic activities. A curious claim, yet this not the first of its kind when it comes to the discovery and indeed past suspected function of a gigantic underground ancient machine, and I hazard to guess that it not the last. For as mentioned and covered in previous works, although not yet picked up by others, one of possibly countless examples of these prehistoric machines, presumably once dug deep into the earth at specific locations, and with varying functionality, yet all once seemingly serving the same purpose, has been found before. For there lay another, deep within the cold and remote Ural Mountains of Russia, which, just like that of the tales of Herodotus, which began with legends telling of an ancient underground city laying beneath the Giza Plateau, it too found, after countless years of local tales being told, of an ancient underground city hidden within the rock faces of the mountains. Located within the village of Zayukovo, it was found via a tiny opening they were guided to by a local elder. Descending into it by rope, they have found it to be a simply massive, ancient man-made structure, sinking for an unknown distance into the earth. The researchers believe that this massive ancient underground anomaly, once constructed from blocks of a similar and in some cases bigger size than even that of the Great Pyramids, was once built around a huge underground structure, which they claim their scans have indicated appears to be in the shape of a pointed pyramid. Yet due to the sheer age of the structure, and possibly due to its specific location, seismic activity has since dislodged many of the upper blocks, thus all but sealing the lower passages off from any further exploration. Yet, what they have found so far, just like that of whatever is hidden beneath the Giza Plateau, was once sunk far into the earth, and in this case seemingly into, through, and beneath an entire mountain, thus clearly at significant effort. Yet what I found most intriguing and what initially made the connection were the Russian team's conclusions regarding their find. Established to have also once been constructed from piezoelectric material, each block weighing some 50 to 300 tons, with many scholars believing it to have been constructed over 5,000 years ago. Chernobrov, one of the researchers, would tell the press, quote, "It looks like a certain resonator, a device for seismological research, mining, or some form of energy generation," end quote. With accounts of not only the existence of this structure known of for countless centuries, but according to the works of P.P. Semenov, specifically within the Caucasus, we know that many legends tell of the existence of these underground structures, with some even attributing them to a race of ancient giants, who were also once said to have traversed the entire earth, yet doing so beneath the surface. Having many of these ancient machines, each connected to one another, yet placed hundreds, sometimes thousands of kilometers apart. Yet, I digress. With the team now revealing to the world over the past month or so that they have discovered even more ancient structures beneath the other two pyramids upon the Giza Plateau, perhaps this research not so pioneering after all, perhaps this more a controlled dissemination of discoveries long known of and even longer told. Anomalies which, although completely flying in the face of the current paradigm, as so many of the subjects, objects, and artifacts I cover here do. This discovery, which perhaps lay beneath nearly every ancient pyramid on Earth, of such a scale that, just like that of the pyramids themselves, simply impossible to hide from the world forever, especially as we now become ever more technologically advanced and indeed intellectually connected. Perhaps these machines have been secretly known of for all this time, yet for some reason far back within our long-forgotten past, we lost our way, and with it, this sacred knowledge. Perhaps this journey of discovery, instead, a journey of rediscovery, to rediscover our past legacy, perhaps it will lead us to rediscover who we are, and most importantly, where we came from. For I feel we may have now arrived at a point where the evidence to suggest that some other, far more advanced, and clearly far more ancient civilization were responsible for the construction of the largest structures to remain standing on our planet for untold millennia, and they not the work of the long-claimed ancient Egyptians, the purpose for which serving nothing more than an ancient tomb. Built to perfect alignments with many megalithic blocks similar to those within the Ural Mountains, often upwards of 200 tons, yet constructed to sit over hundreds of acres of space perfectly level, and yet also with tunnels and air shafts built within. To continue to claim that these were constructed some 4,000 years ago with nothing more than copper chisels, and then to have left no recorded description as to how they did it, not to mention the countless other megalithic sites of equally inexplicable proportions which still litter our planet, yet all claimed as the work of separate, primitive ancestry, with no explanation as why such knowledge became lost, is now finally and thankfully beginning to appear as the outdated, limited, and shoddy explanations for human history that they are. The Overton window is finally shifting, and I intend to continue upon my journey of discovery, regardless of academic hostility, for it is the story of our true past, which I personally find highly compelling. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to support my controversial research here.